back to the Arizona Daily Mix. It's that time of year where a lot of anxiety comes upon us with the holidays moving in, and that is where Dr. Frederick comes in to help us maneuver through this. And Doctor, the holidays are supposed to be a happy time, or supposed to be a time when we're going to enjoy our families and friends, but we get big anxiety over this. Why?
Yes. Anxiety flares up so much during these months. There's multiple reasons for it. I mean, a couple of the main ones, the most obvious probably, is the time and money that is expended during that time. And that gets really stressful, with buying gifts for the whole family and the extended family. And the financial strain is really stressful and trying to keep up with what everyone else is doing. Also, the time aspect of it. We live very busy lives. And so to try to cram in all the parties and all the events, that is also creates anxiety. And then on top of that, the family expectations. There's so much family conflict that takes place throughout the year that maybe is easier to ignore than when we're all crammed into the same room. And then let's add COVID this year on top of it, right?
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
It is. And this anxiety also plays in the part with our kids. So as adults, as we're starting to get anxiety, we kind of like pass it on to our kids, don't we?
Yeah, our kids, certainly, they pick up the energy that we're putting off, and we're products of our environment. So children, they feed off of that. If mom or dad is acting anxious right before the family event, the child believes that there's a reason they should be anxious as well. And so you're exactly right. Children realize when that's going on, and especially when we bring in the COVID fears of how is that going to be navigated this year? I know a lot of children are worried about that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Recognizing anxiety, because it's kind of interesting that someone brought up to me, it's like, are you having anxiety? I'm like going, no, I'm not having anxiety, but I've been like a little bit wanting to work out more, wanting to do things, kind of like want to take myself away from my everyday life in a way. Is that something I need to start looking at? Because that might me having anxiety?
Yeah, that would definitely be a symptom of anxiety when we're trying to kind of escape from the day-to-day norm, when it's just feeling too overwhelming, too much pressure, and we're finding other things to do to take us away from those daily responsibilities. That could tie into symptoms of anxiety or depression. And so it could be either or. And so that first step is it is recognizing that when we're no longer operating the way we normally do, we need to stop and recognize where that's coming from.
Yeah. All right. So what are some things that I can do to recognize it? And then what can I do to help after I recognize it?
So some things that we can first and foremost do to recognize it is when you are feeling out of your norm. So if you have excess energy in your body, if you're feeling more irritable, tired, changes in appetite, maybe even changes in your social interests. So normally you enjoy engaging with people and you've been a lot more isolated. Those would be some main key cues that something is going on. And then what we can do about it, I always recommend for clients to have a list of coping skills. And I know for you, Brad, working out is a huge coping skill for you. You can get out that excess energy. You can escape through that. So exercising is a great option, but reading or going for a walk or bubble bath, finding things that can kind of help you just escape for a brief time while you're processing through it. But then the other thing, and especially during this time, it is seeking help. So it is getting the treatment necessary to have someone help you to work through what you're experiencing.
Yeah, and that's where you guys come in, and I like where you said a bubble bath. So
yes.
Nothing wrong with this, guys, taking bubble baths. All right, guys? Bubble baths, nothing wrong with it. Okay, doctor, how can people find out more about Evolve Counseling?
We can be found at our website, evolvecounselingaz.com. We can also be found on Instagram at evolvecounselingaz.
Perfect. Doctor, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.